Hello and welcome back. This is Susan Johnson. This is part 3 of our digestive series. I am so glad that you're here. And if you are tuning in for the first time, little background on me. I'm a certified natural health practitioner, certified biofeedback technician, have been in the health and wellness industry for a little over 25 years. And my passion is talking about how food toxicity and lifestyle choices affect your overall health. And this is part 3 of my 3-part digestive series. And today we're going to talk about how you can actually improve your overall health. But I want to quickly recap a couple of things. First and foremost, this is educational only. It is not meant to treat, diagnose, or cure anything. I encourage you to learn more. If you are really interested in learning more and taking a deep dive into your health, I've created a program called the 28-Day Healthy Reboot. This is an interactive journey into how food toxicity and lifestyle affect your body. I run them every couple of months, and this is an amazing way to learn how to cook better, how to shop better, how to educate yourself on what you can do to really get your body running great. So let's talk a little bit about the first day. Our first series that we talked about was how digestive health affects your health. Hippocrates said all disease begins in the gut. If you don't have a healthy digestive system, you're not going to have a healthy body. 70 to 80% of your immune system is located there. You're not going to have a healthy mind. 95% of your serotonin, which is your happy hormone, is produced inside the gut, and you need to be healthy to do that. You also need to be able to chew your food, swallow your food, process your food really well to break it down to its smallest parts so that the body, when the food's in the small intestines, it's broken down to its smallest parts, the body can then absorb things like the fats, the amino acids, the sugars into the body to create fuel, to help you think, to help you move, to give you healthy nails, skin, hair, hormone health, cell health, all those kind of things. So it's really important that you not only know, why, the digestive system is so important, but how the digestive system works. And today we're going to talk about how you can support it so that it is the best ever. Now, this is a big topic and I can easily get distracted. I filled in most of my board today because, like I said, I could probably talk about this for hours, and that's not my goal. My goal is to give you the kind of the bird's eye view of things that you can do to improve your health. Number 1, digestive health is your food choices. If you remember on the very first video, I said everything you put in your mouth is either going to support good health or it is going to be negative. It's going to be good for your digestive system. It's going to be bad for your digestive system, which means it's either good for your body or bad for your body. There's nothing in between. And I highly recommend that you take a couple of days reading labels, doing some journaling, tracking to see what you actually are putting in your body. Because if you go and you look at the salad dressing, I guarantee you, unless you make your own, if you go to a salad dressing in your closet right now, you're going to turn that label over and you're going to find it's got a lot of bad things in it that you have no idea that you're eating. So food choices are key. So you are what you eat, but you are also what you eats. So you not only need to look at your food choices, you need to look at the food choices of the foods that you are eating. This is really key. And let's talk a little bit about this. I want to start by talking about GMO versus non-GMO and organic. GMO, what does GMO mean? This is a genetically modified organism. When you are eating GMO foods, it means that they have either been altered some way to make them bigger, stronger, faster, better tasting, growing faster, whatever, or they have been genetically modified to accept the chemical Roundup, which will kill all of the stuff around it, like weeds and bacterias and things like that. So it's been genetically modified so they can spray it with Roundup so that the plant lives, but everything around it dies. Now, they also use things like Roundup. So now Roundup is probably the most popular chemical that we know that they do this with. Roundup has the chemical glyphosate in it. Glyphosate was first patented as an antibiotic. What does an antibiotic do? An antibiotic kills bacteria. What have we learned over the last couple of videos? We know that we have a very important bacterial microbiome system. when you are eating products that have been genetically modified to accept Roundup, or in the case of something like conventional wheat or rice, where they spray it with Roundup in order to kill it all at once so they can harvest it, you are now eating you're now eating that glyphosate. That glyphosate now has the ability to go into your body and might potentially kill your bacteria, your good microbiome. Well, the same thing goes for what you eat. Corn is often genetically modified. What do cows eat? They eat corn. What do chickens eat? They eat corn. What can pigs eat? They can eat corn. So the foods that you eat, you always want to know that they are non-GMO and organic, so that you're not getting any of that Roundup or those genetically modified foods in your bodies. Now, there's more that I could talk about with genetically modified food. We could spend an entire night on that. I just want to leave it at that for now. Know that the more non-GMO and organic food you can eat, the better. The non-GMO label is that pretty butterfly. Just because it's non-GMO does not mean it's organic, okay? This just means that it's not been genetically modified. But many of the farmers that do non-GMO are usually much cleaner about their farming practices. Organic means that it has not had any chemicals sprayed on it that the government hasn't determined safe for consumer use. Just because it's organic doesn't mean it hasn't been sprayed with chemicals. It's just been sprayed with something that they consider organic. This is really important because knowing where your vegetables and fruits come from is key. And there's something called the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. This is put out by EWG.org, the Environmental Working Group, and these will give you the 15 clean vegetables you don't need to buy organic, or the Dirty Dozen, which have been sprayed that you don't want to buy unless you buy organic. You're going to find this is going to be a lot of your things with your skins on them, like strawberries or maybe grapes, things like that. Things where you're eating the skins. Where, Clean 15 could be like a banana. You're going to peel the banana so you don't have to worry about it as much. But organic is really important because it's much cleaner than genetically modified or non-GMO or conventionally raised, where they spray several chemicals on it. There are several studies that show that families who change their diet to an organic diet can actually change the chemicals that they find in their body within a short amount of time. I'm talking like a couple of weeks. The next thing you want to look at is that the foods you eat could have hormones or steroids. These could be things like chickens, these could be things like cows, things that are raised on a conventional farm. Sometimes the practices aren't as good, they're overcrowded, and they often have to give hormones, steroids, antibiotics, things like that to keep the cows healthy. Or the animal healthy. So you want to make sure, again, organic, you're not going to find that they're going to use as much of those products. Processed foods, so anything that's been processed, so processed sugars, processed wheats, cookies, candies, Hostess, all those are all processed. They're not going to be good for your body. It's going to be way too much sugar for the body. It's going to definitely affect your microbiome. So you want to avoid processed foods. Dyes are another one. Again, I could spend a whole night talking about dyes. You want to try to avoid anything with a red dye, a yellow dye. Take a look at the label. See, does your foods have? I mean, there is no reason to dye something just to make it more colorful. They often do this with things like, I'm trying to think, a good example of this would have been years ago, if you remember, pistachio nuts, they used to cover in red dye to make them red. You didn't need that. They just did it, who knows why, but you don't need that. So you want to look. This could be in things like candies, gummies, fruit roll-ups, cereals, those type of things. And omega-6 oils. Again, I could spend a whole night talking about omega-6 oils. This is soybean oil, corn oil, mazola oil, Wesson oil, peanut oil. Omega-6 oils are very highly inflammatory to the body. They can raise your LDLs, your bad cholesterol. They can cause a lot of inflammation in the body, and they can do a lot of other damage. And when I talk about selecting foods, if you don't make your own salad dressing, I'd love for you to go to your refrigerator right after this is done. I want you to flip over your bottle of salad dressing, and I want you to look to see what's in it. If you buy Newman's olive oil salad dressing, you're going to find that the first ingredient in it is soybean oil. Soybean oil is not only genetically modified, but it's also an omega-6. It's got 2 strikes against it. You're going to find that they often put corn stuff in it, or corn starch, or they'll put dyes in it, or all kinds of things. So, you want to try to avoid any of those type of things. The next thing you want to look at, and again, I go into this in great deal into my 28-day program. The one thing most people come out to me and say, Sue, I had no idea what I ate affected me so much. And we go through huge education, and we talk about this, and we teach you how to eat better. So if you're really interested in this, if this is fascinating you, get in touch with me, and I can hook you up with the next 28-day healthy reboot. Your eating habits. How you eat is really important. You could eat the most organic and non-GMO foods, but if you're in a rush, if your mind's not there, if you're under stress, you may as well be eating a McDonald's Big Mac. Making sure that you are sitting down, that you're relaxed, that your food is well presented is a part of healthy digestion. The more you're eating rushed, swallowing down big gulps, not even thinking about your food's not going to be as good for you. So having nice eating habits is going to be important. Promoting good gut health. There are things that you can do to promote good gut health. So the first ones are taking a probiotic. If you remember from video number 2, probiotics are bacteria. There are many probiotics out there. Always check with your primary care physician if probiotics will be good for you. They're not good for everybody. But probiotics are going to help you build up that good microbiome. That's going to help keep your immune system strong. That's going to help keep your serotonin levels good. They're going to help you break down that food and help you think, sleep, everything better. So again, probiotics are those good microbiome. There are things called prebiotics. What's a prebiotic? Prebiotics are what the probiotics eat. These are often foods like kimchi, kombucha. These are your fermented foods. They're often resistant starches. These actually go in and feed the bacteria in your body. So you can take a prebiotic to help your probiotic. There are enzymes, digesting enzymes. This is probably one of my most favorite products. I believe in my heart, and again, this is just my saying this, everyone should be on a good digesting enzyme. Digesting enzymes you take to help you break down fats, carbs, sugars, proteins. This is the heart of breaking everything down to its smallest portion so the body can absorb it. You are born with a set of digesting enzymes. I want you to think of this like a bank, and you're constantly depleting it and adding to it. Depleting and adding, depleting and adding. And our food supply today, we often gut enzymes from the foods that we ate. Today's food, a lot of your fruits, vegetables, all grown on the same soil year after year, or they actually pick a lot of the vegetables early so they can ship them across the country or across the world. When foods are picked green and then shipped across the country, they're often sprayed with something to get them to ripen. They don't hold the enzymes that they did when they are grown to full ripeness on the vine. This is why local produce from your local farmer's market are the best things, because they've been left on the vine as long as they possibly can to the ripest point. They're going to have the best enzymes in them. But because a lot of our foods don't, an example, have you ever eaten a tomato in January in New England? Ugh, they're awful. They kind of taste mealy and awful. That's because they were picked green in California, shipped across the country. They were flushed with gases when they hit the New York border to get them to try to produce that pretty redness, and they put them out on the shelf. They just don't have that same taste as those ones that grow on the vine. So finding a really good quality digesting enzyme, no matter whether you eat healthy or not, really, really great. And the last thing is going to be doing something like herbal supplements. There's a lot of herbal supplements that you can take. These are going to be things like fennel and ginger and turmeric and all these kind of things. There's a lot of these that help herbal subs that will help with your stomach healing, stomach and your digestion. Peppermint's another really good one. So supporting the body with probiotics, prebiotics, digesting enzymes, or maybe some herbal supplements, essential oils, or whatever. 4, chemicals. These are both cleaning and beauty products. There's often many bad chemicals inside your cleaning products. They're antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. These are going to affect your microbiome. Today we are using hand sanitizer everywhere. Everywhere. This is killing your microbiome. You want to find a good, clean hand sanitizer. There are many companies that make a beautiful product that aren't going to kill everything in your body, because remember, we have to have some microbiome. So the more that we are killing this with our beauty products and our cleaning products, what we're cleaning around our home, there are many, many good products that are all natural that will help keep your home clean and spotless, that will not destroy your microbiome, like the stuff that you find like Clorox, or, I mean, that's going to kill everything, right? Lysol is going to kill everything. All those antibacterial, antifungal, antivirals, they really should only be used when someone in the home is sick. When there's people, when you're just living your daily life, you need to be using products. And I would tell you, there's really good products out there. You don't even ever need to use Clorox or any of those again. There's just great products out there that you can use. 5, how else can you support healthy digestion? Water. Make sure you are drinking plenty of clean, filtered water. This is going to keep your body hydrated. It's going to help move your food. Now again, remember, we talked yesterday that you don't drink 20 minutes before you eat and up to an hour after. But all that time around it is really important, because this is going to help with elimination. It's going to give the body something that it can reabsorb, and it's going to keep your body healthy. We talk about elimination. This is always an interesting conversation. This is the poop conversation. Healthy digestion also means good elimination. You should be going 2 to 3 times. I'm talking poop. You should poop 2 to 3 times a day, and that poop shouldn't be hard or shouldn't be little pebbles. This should be a smooth snake that basically flows out of the body and doesn't require a lot of cleanup. If that's not the way your elimination is, you really need to go back and look at your entire digestive system, because you truly want to be making sure that your elimination process runs smoothly. You're not straining, you're not pushing, and again, that you're going at least once, but really 2 to 3 times a day, to make sure that that stuff is not getting stuck inside that intestinal tract, fermenting, causing gas, causing bloating, or really that smelly poop that you get. Those are all signs that something's off in your entire digestive system. And then the last thing I want to talk about, and again, I go into a deep dive. I know I'm kind of doing this kind of upper thing, but it would really take too long. Did you know that there are healthy foods that can bother you? There are things called lectins. Dr. Stephen Gundry has made this very popular. Lectins are a lot of your seeded fruits. These are things like cucumbers, squashes, zucchinis. These are things like sunflower seeds, quinoa. All these things have lectins. Some of these are tomatoes, peppers. These are things that you often think of are healthy. Lectins can often bother people. You need to figure out if lectins bother you. Nightshades. Nightshades are going to be tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, white potatoes. There are people that are bothered by nightshades, and nightshades are also a lectin. Very interesting. So, you might need to figure out if you've got inflammation, if you've got joint pain, if you've got digestive issues, you might need to figure out if you're sensitive to lectins or nightshades. There are Fodmap foods. Fodmaps. These are fermentables, oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. This is another whole group of food. Many people are very sensitive. This is things like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, beets, onion, garlic, the list goes on. There are people that are sensitive to FODMAPs and can give them things like gas and bloating, diarrhea, and those type of things. So that's another group that you might want to look at. So there are a lot of these things that we talk about, and if you have poor digestive health, you might want to try to figure out if there are healthy foods, because all those things are good for you, but they could be affecting your digestion. And there are very easy ways to determine that. Maybe not easy, but there are ways to determine that, and there are ways that you can improve your gut health so that these foods, you might be able to eat them again. Many people find they often have to avoid these foods. Another food would be dairy. Dairy is another big one. Dairy often needs to be avoided, and soy. A lot of people eat soy. Soy's in chocolate, soy's in salad dressing, soy's in ice cream, soy's in, I mean, so many things. There are many people who need to avoid soy. And again, some of this people need to avoid it for just a little time. Other people need to avoid it for a long time. But it's important that you figure out what foods are bothering you. And that's what something like my 28-day healthy reboot will help you do. So I know this is a lot. Here's the bottom line. All disease begins in the gut. Healthy digestion is really important. And your food choices are going to be key to keeping you healthy. If you are someone that lives off of takeout food, which is often made with a lot of omega-6, it's made with a lot of processed foods, it's usually not organic, it's usually genetically modified, these are some of the things you want to take a look at. Specifically, if you have brain fog, if you have gas, bloating, diarrhea, if foods are bothering, joint inflammation, all these kind of things, this is an opportunity for you to really take a good look at your digestive system and improve it. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about, please contact me, Susan at healthylivingwithsusanjohnson.com. I really, as you can tell, this is something I'm really passionate about. I've thrown a ton of information at you, but I would love to have a longer conversation or work with you over something like the 28-day healthy reboot to help you understand why your digestive system is so important, what digestion is, and the choices that you make and how to make better ones. Thank you so much for being a part of my 3-part series. Please email me, let me know how what you think. Make some comments on the videos. I'd love to hear back from you. And here's to good digestion. Thanks a lot.